we'll sing a song that the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe loved, that Rabbi Yisrael really loved. And the song is called the Beinoni. The Beinoni is a term, comes from Tanya, the original, most important text of Chabad, which is addressed for not the most holy, righteous person, not the most iniquitous person, but the Beinoni, meaning the middle person, the average person, for the person that, most people, us, and how we are to approach and serve the Almighty and divine and such. So we'll sing the Beinoni song of Rabbi Yitzchak, it's a favorite, and then maybe one more song from the Rebbe Menachem Mendel Schneerson, his successor, the seventh Lubavitcher Rebbe, a song that he loved, okay, or taught. He actually, Rebbe Menachem Mendel, Lubavitcher Rebbe, the Rebbe, our Rebbe, you can say, the Rebbe I grew up with, he actually officially taught Simchas Torah for 10 years. He taught 10 songs, 10 years, and then he taught a few other songs over the years. He taught probably like 15 songs or so. So here's the Beinoni, the song that the previous Rebbe loved. Here you go. That's the Beinoni. Now, the song from the Rebbe I'll share actually. It's known as Shamiel, and it comes with a story. I'll tell you in brief. When the Rebbe taught the song, I think it was 1958, Simchas Torah, it would be after he would do hakafis till like 3, 4 in the morning, and then there would be the meal. He would come back down to the shul like 5, 6 in the morning, give out l'chaim to all those that took upon themselves to learn extra chassidus for the year. And then he would teach a niggun. One year he taught this song, Shamiel. What's Shamiel? Who is Shamiel? Shamiel was in the 1800s. He was an actual historical character. He was the head of a Muslim, like Sufi-related warrior tribe or clan that lived in the upper Caucasus Mountains. And in fact, when at Columbia University, I found a whole book, a biography on Shamiel. There's even pictures of him. It's called Imam Shamiel. There's a wiki page for him. You see, here he is. That's his face. You see? So he's a real historical character. And the following story I'm going to share, which the Rebbe gave over, is a true historical account. It's in this biography I found. The story is that in the 1800s, I think it was the mid-1800s, when the Tsar then, I forget which Tsar, it was Paul or Alexander or someone, it was expanding the Russian Empire south over the Caucasus. I think this part of the Caucasus was owned and was controlled at a certain point even by the Persian Empire, which lost it. Be it as it may, the Imam Shamiel, the leader of this Muslim Caucasus people up there, it says he was for Naqshbandi Sufis. Naqshbandi Sufis are very interesting. I actually met some of them in Turkey, in central Turkey. And they have a very interesting form of Sufism, both not only mystical, but they even deal with like doing things like Hasidim in a way. They'll drink even though it's against Islam, or talk about it at least, and do things that appear like irrational, etc. They're quite spirited individuals, the Naqshbandis. I think so. They're in Turkey, in the Caucasus. I think they're also in Albania. There's some. Be it as it may, it says here in the wiki page, Shamiel was born in 1797. Oh, there's even a picture I'll show you soon of the story I'm going to tell. So this, make it long story short, the Russian Empire couldn't conquer them because they were really warriors, battle season, and they knew the territory up behind the mountains. And the Russian army didn't know how to fight up in the mountain cliffs and all that, or especially they were being fought with guerrilla warfare. So finally, the Russians came up with a ruse, and that was they sent a message that they're calling a truce on Shamiel and his clan, and therefore come down from the mountains, and we're going to sign a peace treaty with you. Right. So Shamiel comes down, and in true Russian moral ways of doing things, they arrest him, throw him in prison. In the true account of the story, in the true history, he was, I think, even brought to St. Petersburg and held under house arrest. And actually, here's a picture that Wiki has of him. Capture of Shamiel, it's called. You see here? Capture of Shamiel. There we are. So you basically cannot deny there's Shamiel, and they're ostensibly for the truce, but then they go and they capture him. Okay. But he still remained fierce as a warrior, even when he was arrested and under house arrest and such. There's another picture of him, Imam Shamiel. Incidentally, the Shamiel is, according to some versions, one of the 99 names of God or characteristics of God in Islam. So this Shamiel comes down, he's thrown in prison. And while he's in prison, he's even in the story it goes that he can even see the mountain range up where he came from. And he looks out and he first thinks, "Oh, how high I was when I was ruling up in the mountains, and look now I'm down in prison, all trapped and confined down here. But one day I will be freed and released, and I'll return back up the mountain." So the Rebbe gave over the story, and he said that Chassidim would say that this is a metaphor for the soul. The soul was originally up in the highest range mountains. There's even a term, Baruch, we were one in the upper peaks of the divine, with the heavenly throne. And then the soul was thrown, the Igra Rama Labira Nikta, as the term is, from the high mountain to the low valley. And the soul was thrown into this world, into a physical body, almost trapped in there. It cannot be its true free self. But when we work right and do the right things, then we could free ourselves again to return. Not when we pass away, heaven forbid, but even in our bodies, we could reach that original pure spirit soul state of the way we were, all the way up in the hot mountains, and in a way even higher than before. Okay. So that is the story, and that is what the story means from metaphor into as an allegory for the soul and coming down the body into the body and back and return. And with that, there is the following Niggun that the Rebbe taught that also has 3 parts to it that represent these 3 parts. Originally, the soul was high, then came down low, and then goes back up. It goes like this, and this is what the Rebbe taught. Ne ya 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 ra yo That's this whole song. I was going to sing it again, but maybe I just put in the clip of the Rebbe singing it. It's from a recording from 1959 at the farbrengen. But maybe what I'll do is I'll just play it, and I could do actually that. We could hear the Rebbe himself sing it. The Rebbe actually sings it 3 times, each time higher. So, here we go. By the way, I mean the legend is that when the Rebbe started singing, I think, hi, hi, they thought he was going to faint, and you hear people ruckus. It sounds like they're saying, "Bring water, bring water." They thought that what's known as the expiration of the spirit, it close to nefesh, but it didn't happen. But then you know what? You'll hear. Let me just skip ahead. You see the Rebbe singing it on a higher octave. Let's see, because the Chassidim here, do it 3 times. Okay, then the Chassidim sing it. So, I mean, I think that is the longest recording we have of the Rebbe singing any songs, so like multiple times and once, and you hear he takes it higher and higher. So just remember, the Chassidim didn't know the song more or less until the Rebbe taught it in 1958, 59, and that so. Speaking of this day of like when the Rebbe becomes a Rebbe, it's like the passing of the previous Rebbe, the Rebbe Yisrael, and the Rebbe takes on it has similar connotations of descent and ascent, And a lot of the theme of the day of the teaching of Bas Lagani, returning to the garden, is that the descent for a higher ascent to come. That's the whole purpose of why we're brought down. The souls are brought down to this world is not just to survive and not just to go back to square one, to get even up, but to go even higher than square one. Ironically, by coming down to the lowest, as we were learning before, that the ultimate expression of the highest, dafka, when it comes to the lowest of the low, when the Yudke Vavke can come down to the lowest of the low.